Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the school committee meeting of Monday, June 13th, 2022. First on tonight's agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on tonight's agenda, we'll be looking for motions and votes to approve two sets of meeting minutes. First, minutes from the meeting of May 23rd, 2022. We'll be looking for a motion. Motion to approve. And a second. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Let's vote. Next, item B, the minutes of May 23rd, 2022, our executive session meeting. We will be entertaining a motion. Motion to approve. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Thank you. Audience, we've got a great audience with us tonight. We have Rogers Middle School Principal Cheryl Schipper and 8th grade scholar leaders Molly Lucas and Kira Williams. Welcome. Hello.
Hello. Hello there. Thank you so much for having us. I am so excited to be here tonight and to present these two lovely young ladies here to you tonight. So let me tell you a little bit about what the Scholar Leader Award is. The New England League of Middle Schools has this recognition every year, and schools that are members can recommend two students, 8th graders, who exemplify high academic achievement and leadership qualities in their class. So these two girls were selected among many students, and it's very difficult for the teachers to give the recommendations. They were selected on these merits, and both of these girls are excellent students, continually receive high honors throughout their time in middle school. They are both very active in the school community, both National Junior Honor Society members. Kiara, to my far right, is a student government member, Irish step dancer. I knew I was going to forget this. What did I forget? And Shrek extraordinaire, cast member. And Molly, right here, is National Junior Honor Society, multiple sports, soccer, track, basketball. Okay, so they're very busy girls, and they're leaders among their peers. Typically, we would attend a ceremony in Marlborough, Mass. that we've traveled to. This has gone on for many, many years. Big ceremony. We haven't been able to do it for the last few years because it's been canceled. This year, they had a virtual ceremony, and we decided to make the most of the situation. And so we held a little banquet in my office, which was well attended by their parents and Molly and Kiara. And we had a little dinner and some crumble cookies, and we had a good old time for ourselves. And a couple teachers came along, Miss Pratt and Ms. LeBlanc. So I am thrilled to recognize these girls here for us tonight. We have Kiara Williams and Molly Lucas, and I am very proud of them. They are the best. And here they are for you guys.
Welcome, Kiara. Welcome, Molly. First of all, I'm really sorry for totally butchering your name the first time that I said it. Welcome. Outstanding job. And before I say anything, I'll welcome my colleagues for any comments or questions.
Bless you.
Well, I just wanted to say congratulations. I know it's a great honor to achieve, and I know Molly on that soccer field, so congratulations to you both.
Anyone else?
I will also congratulate you both and thank you for being the leaders among your peers that you are. You make us proud, you make your parents proud, you make your teachers proud, but I hope most of all you make yourselves proud. You should be very proud of who you are and what you do, and take that with you, and look forward to hearing what exceptional things you do in the high school.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to add to everyone, just congratulations, and looking forward to seeing what the next 4 years bring for you.
So awesome job. I mean, it sounds like you guys are busy girls. I'm sorry, did you have something to say? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I missed you. Please, go right ahead.
Congratulations, ladies. I've seen you since Erin was in kindergarten, and it's an honor to get to sit here and see you stand here in front of me with this such a great honor that you're receiving. So you're making us proud, and congratulations. Shout out to both of you. That's all I had to try to say.
There's not a whole ton that hasn't been said. Great job. You're totally busy girls, as I was about to say. With all the things that you do you have a favorite thing that you're doing? What's your sort of favorite in-school or extracurricular activity?
I don't really know. Like, my favorite outside of school thing is definitely Irish step dancing, but like, my favorite in-school thing is probably student council, just
Cool.
because I feel like I get to help out the most in it.
Do you think that you'll do that in high school, too, when you go up?
Definitely.
Good for you.
My favorite out-of-school thing was probably like club soccer, since I met a bunch of people from new towns and everything. And my favorite thing in school was definitely the sports as well, and like meeting a bunch of upperclassmen and like all the coaches and meeting people from new schools as well, including traveling everywhere.
So there's lots of cool opportunities, as you already know, and are taking advantage of at Rogers Middle School, and that's awesome. And one of the exciting things about high school is that there's even new and different things as you get older and in the different grades. And with the things that you're already involved with in school, you mentioned, Kiara, that you're involved with student council. Keep that up. That's awesome. First of all, both of you, for leadership things and being involved and giving back to the community that you're in. In this case, for you guys, it's Rogers Middle School and going to be the high school. It makes you feel good to sort of give back and be involved, but it's also kind of a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great. Well, keep up the great work. I mean, you're doing great work in the classroom, you're doing great work on the fields, you're doing great work in leadership, and I mean, these are really, what else could you ask for? I mean, it's great to have your parents here tonight, and I'm sure they're super proud of you, as these ladies said, but more importantly, I hope you're proud of yourself, because that's who you're really doing it for. So great job.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. Do you guys have any questions for us? You know, it might be you sitting on this side of the table someday. That's right. Well, great job. Congratulations, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Next on tonight's agenda, we have some reports for approval. We have monthly reports for the month of May. We'll be looking for 4 reports to be approved, 4 motions and 4 votes. We'll be looking to approve the administrator's report, the guidance report, the pupil personnel services reports, and the nurses report. We'll be entertaining 4 motions.
4 motions to approve.
4 seconds.
We have 4 motions and 4 seconds. All those in favor? Thank you. That is a vote. Next, we have our school newsletters for June, which are always awesome. Particularly at the end of the year, it seems like they're most exciting because there's just so much going on, so much good stuff going on.
So much going on.
So we always love seeing these, and as school committee members, we're fortunate enough to kind of get them all together in one place, and throughout the week, it's great to be able to look at whatever that's happening in our community in full-color pictures and descriptions. So we know there's a lot of work that goes into these, and we really do appreciate them, and I hope that students and families appreciate them too as well. So we have these newsletters for Jefferson, Memorial Park, middle school, and the high school, and thank you very much. Next, building usage. Our buildings are busy and continue to be busy. That's there for your information. Our community is it's always great to have our community using our public buildings, and we've got some great ones up here. Our schools are in great shape and are really great for our community to utilize as much as possible. Under old business, we do have some completed fundraisers, and thank you. I think I just went by it. Thank you. We have Rockland High School varsity softball, and they raised, through a SNAP raise, they raised $2,329.90. Great job, and thank you very much, everybody who was involved. Next, we have fundraisers for approval. We have 4 fundraisers that will need to be approved. The Rogers Middle School is doing a garden implementation for the Rogers Middle School garden for the 2022 and 2023 school year. We'll be looking for a motion and a vote to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Thank you. Rockland High School Travel Club is going to be doing 3 different fundraisers. In November, they're going to be doing a prize calendar. In July and August, they're going to be doing a Little Caesars fundraiser. And September 1st through November 1st, they're going to be doing a Charleston Wrap fundraiser. So we'll be looking for 3 motions and 3 votes.
3 motions to approve.
3 seconds.
All those in favor? Thank you. That's a vote. Next up, under new business, we have for approval the 2022-2023 school committee meeting dates. It seems crazy that we're already up on this year, getting ready to look at dates for next year's school committee meetings. Is there any questions or discussion about the dates from the committee for next year?
No, everything looked fine.
Everything look good?
No holidays or
Okay,
anything.
good. Everyone good with it?
Yep.
All right, so we'll be looking for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
Second?
And a second. All those in favor? Thank you very, very much. Next up, we have the FY22 year-end reappropriation. Dr. Cron?
Yes, I will turn this over to Ms. Hackett.
Yes, exciting only to me.
We're excited to see you excited.
So what the report, and it's the last pieces of paper in your packet, and what it is a reappropriation within the expense lines only of the budget, and it's a year-end exercise that I'd like to implement, where we reappropriate amongst our town meeting allocation and appropriation, and put the budget where it was spent. Best example is, we are under right now for sped tuition. However, we're over in utilities, because the price of gas has gone up so much. So I reappropriated from our positive into our negative. Okay, so this is just all of the detail of every line that I touched and every line that I moved. I would like the authority to complete this, and the authority to do it again after the next warrant, and the authority to do it with salaries. And what this is going to do is it's going to give us a very sound structural base for FY22. All right, this is what we spent, these are the program codes, et cetera, that we spent it in, very detailed, very specific, and then it's going to allow us to go from 22 to 23 to 24 in really base. There's been a lot of behind the scenes. Ira Cola, Joan Walsh, Mary Jo Lipson have really been doing an awful lot of work with DESI's chart of accounts and making sure that we're charging things to the right line items. You know, Mrs. Kidwell is working very hard on what we're doing with professional development and curriculum purchases, so we'll really be able to get credit for what we're doing and predict the future. Yeah, in a way. So it's backdoor housekeeping, but it's like a really dirty closet all cleaned up.
Like cleaned up.
Yes. Clean is good.
Do you need a vote on?
Yes, please.
Okay. We look to entertain a motion to have Ms. Hackett grant her the authority to continue to manage the year-end reappropriations.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you very much. That's a vote. Next up, item D under new business, transportation fees. I think we're going back to you, Ms. Hackett.
Yes, sir. This here under the current year policy. This year, as we knew, we had the ESSER funds available to us and the COVID relief funds, and one of the things that we utilized that money for was to help offset the cost of transportation, because we didn't want transportation. We never do, but especially with illnesses, et cetera, and parents not being able to drive, quarantined, et cetera, we wanted to make sure busing was as inclusive and as easy to access this year as humanly possible, so we could get kiddos here. All right. Now that this, hopefully, we're coming out, we're on the other side, but we'd like to do what we're planning on doing for the upcoming school year, 22-23, and we wanted to get the word out to families, is go back to where we were in school year 2019 and 2020. We are not looking to increase our rates. We're looking to keep our rates the same as they were 2019, in the 2019-2020 school year, but to re-implement them. And to and I gave a nice breakthrough, we're going to establish a new webpage, online registration, a lot of improved processes, hopefully, going forward, issuing of bus passes, et cetera. Noelle Romeo has joined the office. She's doing that. Noelle Novio has joined the office. She's doing an outstanding job, and she has a lot of energy and a lot of good ideas, and has been spending a great deal of time studying other school districts' websites and processes for registering for a bus and making adjustments as time goes on. So just a very quick, the state mandate requires or authorizes a student, entitles a student is the language they use, in kindergarten through grade 6, if they're outside of 2 miles, as the crow flies, all right, if they're outside of 2 miles, to a bus. Does not mean that bus is free. It just means they are entitled to a seat on a bus. We have to provide buses for as many people who want to bus within that category as possible. Never been a problem in the town of Rockland. We are going above that, and we offer free busing outside of 2 miles to grades 7 and 8 as well, as K through 6. All right, we provide it to grades 7 and 8, free of charge if you're outside of 2 miles. If you're within 2 miles from kindergarten through grade 8, it's $275 per child for your first child. Second child's $200, and you're capped there. If you have 3, if you have 4, there's a cap of $475. And these rates have not been adjusted, and they are still comparable to other districts. Grades 9 through 12, we do charge the same rates, $275 and $475, regardless of distance. So if you're within 2 miles or you're outside of 2 miles, you pay if you're grade 9 through 12. All right? No one pays, regardless of distance, if they are on free or reduced. All right? So it's just going back to where we were. We were transitioning, going in charging kindergarten. Kindergarten for a long time was free. We're in the process of implementing that, of implementing the kindergarten buses, the kindergarten bus charge. And we are going forward with that for the upcoming school year. We want to keep it as it is. Thank you very much. This is allergies, I swear. But we are going forward with implementing the kindergarten this year fully. And then we want to take a look at this policy, especially with traffic. I think especially middle school parents have noticed continued backup in the morning. Another reason why we want to keep, thank you, grade 7 and 8 free, to incentivize them to be on the bus and to help reduce traffic at the drop-off time. And then going into our new structure in the 23-24 school year, we can revisit this again at this time of year. So fortunately for Rockland, we have signed our 5-year contract, and there is not a fuel clause. So we are not going, the cost of gas is not impacting us for school year 22 to 23, which is a huge wild card. I think we paid a little bit more for it in the contract, but it really is obviously paying off now over the course of the 5 years. So I'm comfortable with this. Right now, we have about $28,000 in the bus account. Hopefully, we'll be able to build that account up and hopefully pay for one bus. That's always the goal, is to raise enough to pay for a bus, to help reduce the costs, by and large. So,
Questions from my colleagues?
I was just going to ask, I think at one point, grades 11 and 12 were not eligible for the bus at all a few years ago, and so it sounds like now bus is available for everybody if they want it.
yes, and it was, they always got on it, but they were told they had to wait, and they had to wait, and they had to wait, so we could accommodate everyone who are required, because we are required. We have requirements through grade 6, so those seats have to get filled first. We're just committing to the ultimate outcome and saying up front, everyone come to school. If you don't have a car, someone can't drive you, here you go, you can take the bus.
I think the overall message is that Rockland has an extremely inclusive transportation policy, and we are committed to getting every kid to school, and we don't want a bus to be a factor.
No, I mean, I think that's great, because the feedback is I had feedback from parents that were concerned that they couldn't get
Right.
their juniors on the buses.
Right.
So I think this is great, that if you want to be on the bus, there is an opportunity to be on the bus.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. That's it.
Anyone else? No. Great, so we'll be looking to entertain a motion to accept proposed busing pricing structure for 2022-2023 school year.
Motion to approve.
Second?
All those in favor? Thanks very much. That is a vote. Next up, item E, daycare before and after school programs tuition adjustment.
Correct. This is much straighter, much simpler. 50-cent increase, please. This was done by Ms. Tate and Mrs. Hoadley, formerly Ms. Baldessari. And we are still competitive and comparative with Hanover and with Brockton, which are the only other 2 districts, to our knowledge, that are still operating the before and after school program themselves rather than outsourcing it due to EEC requirements. All right, so we are still comparative with those 2 districts, and we're also still less than the privates. And what's really unique about us is we go in 15-minute increments. So you're not charged, there's no minimum charge of 2 hours or 4 hours. et cetera. It's pay as you go down to the 15 minutes. Right, so I think it's a very reasonable request. Could have gone higher. I think it's reasonable, again, to keep it here and reevaluate again once we really know our path with the EC.
Sounds good. Any questions?
Do we have any numbers from the before and after care? That you could-
224
224?
is, I believe it is 224 on the before and after. I do not know daycare, but for some reason, the number
Before and
44 is
after
in my
care
head.
is fine, yeah. I was just curious, I know there's always the question of middle school, 5th grade. I've seen a couple questions about potentially implementing that back into the middle school.
Yep.
But I think we're coming out of COVID, and not all of the before and after programs in the middle school have been brought back. So
Right,
maybe as we
it's-
get into next year, we'll see.
It's a challenge. The parents want it and the kiddos don't.
Right.
It is really where the rubber hits the road on
Right.
that. And it's a challenge really in every district, that I speak to. It's often a topic of conversation. The outsourcing by most districts has sort of eliminated it, across the board. But I know coming out of COVID, I've had many meetings with Mrs. Schipper about increasing after-school enrichment at the middle school, after-school athletics, intramurals, et cetera, to, elongate the day in a way that the kiddos are excited about
Yeah.
and the parents feel safe about.
Yeah.
It's an awkward age.
It is, yeah.
I think that anyone with a upper middle schooler has been through that adjustment. It's a tough one.
Indeed.
No
Any
other
other questions? Okay, so we're looking for a motion to approve the daycare before and after-school programs tuition adjustment.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor? Thanks very much. Item F, last item under new business, 2022, 2023 year start times.
My
Rod,
turn.
Your turn.
All right, elementary start times for next year will be 8:45, and the school day will end at 3:15. The middle school and the high school will start at 7:55 and end at 2:25.
Excellent. Can you tell us a little bit about why the change?
No change.
No change, okay.
No
Sorry.
change.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
No change. We will be looking at changing possibly the following year.
I see. Yeah, great.
We're anticipating some transportations. We may flip-flop. We may flip-flop start times, elementary and secondary.
Got it.
For the following school year with Phelps.
10-4, any questions?
I was just going to ask if Dr. Cron can elaborate a little bit on why we flip-flopped and have the elementary school kids going in after the high school and middle school kids. I think that's the one question, anytime anyone
yeah.
brings up time, we get asked.
Well, okay, I'll give you the abbreviated version. There was quite a bit of research done about start times and the effects on secondary students and their readiness for being in school at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. So there was a big push for later start times for those kids. Having sat on many a committee, one that I can painfully remember, where we read the research and we had people from the community involved and we had a big thing about it. After 5 or 6 weeks of work, what it really came down to is we're trying to accommodate the lives of parents who are trying to get their kids off to school and they're trying to get to work. And that's really the driving force behind your start times in many cases. So as much as we have research that talks about kids' readiness, I think what really drives this decision is trying to make this work for the community. So this is working right now. We are one of the later start times on the high school when it comes to South Shore League. We are one of the later ending times, but we would be looking at possibly making the ending time for high school as late as 2:55 for the following year if we flip-flopped them. So there's no perfect way to do it. There's pros and cons to any way you end up doing it, but that really was the driving force behind the later start times for older students.
Are you suggesting teenagers like to sleep in?
I have to say, though, I don't know how much more awake they are at 8 than they are at 7:30. I think we're splitting hairs a little bit. What I think is more effective, actually, is the rotating schedule, where you'll have math first thing in the morning and then it rotates to end of the day. I think that's a little more effective because then you get the students at different times of day, which as a former teacher, you definitely notice a difference,
Sure.
depending on what time of day it is. So,
And so they'll continue if we even go later. I know now, as the time is now, students need to be dismissed for sports in order to get
exactly.
to their field or
Sometimes,
whichever.
yeah, because we play, for example, down on the Cape.
Right.
And that takes a long time to get down
Right,
there.
even Carver, yeah.
And so I remember when I was principal, I'd sort of get grief for being the latest school and not wanting to release.
Right.
Because I want the kids in class, so. But we're in there right now. It's working.
Okay. Thank you for explaining.
You're welcome.
Anyone else, questions?
I was just going to say, there is good pediatric research. It's not just teenagers wanting to sleep in, it is their biological clock, but
Yeah.
that's a conversation for another day, my friend.
So I should be more tolerant of my 13-year-old?
You should be more
Okay.
tolerant. You should.
You heard it here.
That's straight medical advice, right there.
That's
All right. So we're looking for a motion to approve the 2022-2023 school year start times.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you very much. Item 7, superintendent's report. Bouncing back to you, Dr. Cron.
Thank you. Very brief. Last day of kindergarten is the 15th of June. That is a half day. And the last day for everyone else, actually not just kindergarten, for preschool and kindergarten is the 15th, and that is a half day. And grades 1 through 12, June 22nd is their last day, and that is also a half day. And then I just want to remind folks that there is no school on the 20th to observe Juneteenth. And I want to wish the history department at the middle school luck tomorrow with their history fair, which begins, and it'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. in the library. And that is always just an amazing event, the history fair. Just the work that the kids do is so fun, and they're so enthusiastic about it. So, and then I always wonder what's going to happen with these giant projects after the fair. But that's all I have.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Last but not least is our public service announcements. We'll start with Mrs. Hesse.
Thank you, Mr. Biggins, and thank you, Dr. Cron. You had stolen some of my notes. I'm very excited to attend the history fair. I have a 7th grader, and we'll be looking at some ancient Japanese food if anyone wants to join us. Wanted to say congratulations again to the class of 2022, and to acknowledge the underclassmen awards that were held last week. It's great accomplishments that we're honoring our seniors, but to acknowledge all the hard work of everyone else in the high school. Also saying good luck to those in the high school that are taking finals that are starting on Wednesday. So I have a 9th grader and she's not studying, so hopefully she will. Also really happy to see all of the end of the year activities, the field day pictures, the field trips. It's just a great time of year. So enjoy the last, I think we're down to 7 days for the rest of the district, and hope everyone has a great summer.
Thank you. Mrs. Maroney.
I was going to congratulate the middle school band, and I had it written down and I lost my note. So they won gold at the Great East competition, and they went out to Six Flags. So I believe that was a first for the middle school band. So I wanted to shout out to them. Congrats from us here. And that's all I had.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Davidson.
Nothing tonight.
Dr. Morrow Small.
I just want to give a shout out to all the teachers and volunteers and all the staff that have been working hard on all the field trips and the field days and all of those fun end-of-the-year activities. I won't be here for our last meeting of the year, so just want to wish everybody a safe and healthy summer, and say don't forget to do your summer reading.
Thank you. Thank you. Not a whole lot left to be said. Lots been covered. Lots been covered. I, too, am looking forward to the history fair. I feel like we've, if anybody who's been on Facebook's gotten a little bit of a sneak preview, seeing some of the pictures that people are posting, and there's some pretty impressive projects I've gotten to take a peek at. So looking forward to seeing them at the fair. Also want to congratulate the high school lacrosse team on an outstanding season, making it to the Sweet 16, first time in school history that they've gotten that far. A couple of individual accomplishments on that team. Justin Cronin scored broke his 100-goal career goal barrier that game, and I know Tyler Boehner got his 100th career point. So great job, boys. Looking forward to another great season next year. After that, that's all I've got, and we'd be looking to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you very much. That's a vote. Have a great night, and go Celtics.